after 10 years of homeschooling, school was becoming a drag. We want our kids to embrace the lifelong adventure of learning. So we decided to sell our comfortable suburban home and make the world our classroom. Joe, Trisha, Hannah, Sarah, Gideon, Izzy, and Penny Dog. We are doing life deliberately.
We are on our way, driving from Mountain Home, Idaho, driving east towards Grand Tetons, just north of Jackson, Wyoming.
Upon the recommendation of several other RVers, we decided to check out Craters of the Moon National Monument and Visitor Center on our way to the Grand Tetons. No one could really describe it for us, but all agreed it was worth seeing. Driving through the fields of lava rock that jut out of the arid tundra is utterly captivating.
And then we're going to go and explore Yellowstone, and then we're going to camp for 4 nights right here. Well, we are driving on Teton Pass. Where are we coming from?
Victor, Idaho.
Victor, Idaho. We crossed over the border east into Wyoming, and we have about 15 miles to go before we hit Jackson, Wyoming, just south of Teton National Park. And the mountain that we have to go over, Teton Pass, it's a 10% grade. I don't think I have ever been on a 10% grade in a car or a truck, let alone the RV, the rig here. So this is the steepest grade I've ever driven on, and we're hauling the rig. And so we're at the top. What do you call that? The summit.
Yeah.
And we're coming over, and we're looking down now into the valley where Jackson is. And the Grand Tetons are in the future. They're not in the future; they're in the present, but they're over there. And the transmission fluid is getting very hot, and so I've never had the transmission fluid over 250 degrees. Once it gets over 250 degrees, it gets into the red part of the transmission temperature gauge, which says, warning. And I have a light flashing that says the transmission fluid is hot. So we're just going to stay here and let the transmission fluid and the transmission cool down. We'll take the nice view, and once this cools down, we'll get on our way. I guess we could have taken the interstate, which would have been more of a flat route. It was like 20 minutes longer. So I don't know, we decided to take the shortest route, but it was more directly over the mountain. I don't know if that is good or not, but the views are great, even if we blow up the transmission. But it's coming down now. It's coming down. So we'll wait, and hopefully we'll get it to Jackson, and then up north to Grand Teton National Park. We made it through Teton Pass. Made it over the mountain and down into Jackson. It was a beautiful descent down into the Jackson Hole Valley over the Snake River. I'm really, really pleased with the Yukon XL. This is a 2001 Yukon XL 2500 with the 8.1 liter big block engine. I'm so pleased that this operated as it should have. The transmission, the engine, it worked. It's an older vehicle. It's got now over 300,000 miles, but it worked. Wow, look, the Grand Tetons. You can see it right there.
Little walk this morning. We arrived at our campsite in the Grand Tetons National Forest pretty late last night. I don't think we've ever arrived at a campsite that late before. Maybe 8 o'clock or so. But you can smell that fresh pine mountain air. It's amazing. It's really nice to be back where there's green again. I don't think I realized how much I missed it. And I'm typically not a mountain girl. Like, I appreciate the beauty of them, but I was the kid that always got car sick wherever we went. And so, much to my father's chagrin, I slept through most of the rides. So, anyway, I've learned to appreciate it more on this trip, that's for sure. But what a day. What a beautiful day.
We decided to spend a day exploring Jackson Hole, Wyoming. This charming western tourist town might be one of the last places on the planet where cars yield to an old-fashioned stagecoach. We were fortunate to catch the free Wild West shootout in downtown Jackson Hole.
you need a hold-up robbery or a gunfight, holla. If you need a cattle rustler, any job that you need done before the setting sun, we'll be there on our gang, you can depend. Outlaws, we rob and shoot and steal. Outlaws, always picking up one deal. Outlaws, we're the only thing that's real in this wild, wild west. We're the outlaws.
Robert, I have something very important to tell you.
Hey, can't you see we're in the middle of something?
What?
Can't you see we're in the middle of something?
Yeah, I can see. I'm deaf, not blind.
And of course, no trip to a tourist town is complete without a stop at an old-fashioned candy store.
Show me what you got from the candy store. Izzy. What are you eating?
A mystery airheads.
Mystery Airhead. Gideon, what are you eating?
The caramel apple pop, my
Caramel
favorite
apple
sucker.
pop. Hannah, what are you eating?
Truffles.
Is it a chocolate truffle?
This is a raspberry one.
Have you had truffles before?
I hate truffles.
Sarah, what are you eating?
Same as Gideon, caramel
Okay.
apple pop. They're so good. I got a lot of caramel in mine.
So normally we go to the candy store in Montello, Wisconsin every summer. We didn't get to do that. Does this make up for it?
Just totally makes up for it.
They have all the same candies that like I know.
This is all for me. Yeah,
That's Mommy Daddy's.
like in Montello. Is the other one Montello?
Yes.
In Montello, they had kind of an older candy vibe.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of toffee.
Taffy Toffee?
Taffy toffee. Comment down below what it is. Taffy toffee. Anyway, they'd have like a lot of old candies and a lot of toffee. This one had a lot of the newer candies, and not necessarily new, but not old.
This candy store had a lot of candy, didn't it?
It did.
Which one do you like better? Which candy store is better?
This one.
I think the one near the lake house because that's like the year tradition.
There's memories there, right?
Yeah, there's memories. We went there every year.
And every time that we would go to the candy store, we'd also get ice cream.
That's a good point, Hannah.
There's an
Where's
cream
my
store
ice
right
cream?
over there.
What does Mommy say? Oh, look, there's ice cream right there. Do we do ice cream for dinner?
Yeah.
Let's go. Yep.
Who likes Jackson Hole now?
This is the best ice cream I've ever had.
What kind is it?
This is caramel cone.
Caramel.
It's not a bite. It's
What do you think?
On the ride back home, we had our first encounter with Wyoming wildlife, a herd of elk and pronghorn. The beauty of God's creation comes in many forms: lava rock, mountains, sunsets, wildlife, waves lapping along a shore, majestic views, the scent of pine, elk antlers, and more. But all of these require us to pause what we are doing in order to observe and really appreciate God's handiwork. He gives us these things not only to bless us, but to give us a glimpse of who He is. Nehemiah 9:6 says, "You are the Lord, you alone. You have made heaven, the heaven of heavens, with all their host, the earth and all that is on it, the seas and all that is in them, and you preserve all of them, and the host of heaven worships you." Pausing to appreciate God's creativity wherever we are, whatever we are doing, is just one way of doing life deliberately.
And then also on the ride, God feeds some ducks.
That's right, those ducks were following us.
Yeah. I named a couple of them. I had White Feather, Blue Feather, and Loyalty.
That's right.
They were all loyalty. They all
Wasn't one mischievous?
Yeah, and one was mischievous. he almost bit me.
One of them did bite me. It bit my toe,
He almost bit my butt.
thinking it was food.
He almost bit my butt.
Well, you are pretty yummy.
Oh my god.
Daddy,
Oh my gosh.
do you eat?
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Stop the
changing.
video.
Stop the
Stop
video!
the video.
This is PG-13!
Oh, this is supposed to be family friendly. What are you doing to us?
All right, so we made it through.
Action!
Remember that.